If you don't have a lot of money yet, well then don't fear, because I'm now going to show you what you can do to eventually get a lot of money and potentially buy the things that you've always wanted to buy. There is countless of examples of people on low salary who successfully have learned how to build wealth over time. And one of my personal favorites is a guy named Ronald Read. He worked as a janitor, and what this guy did was that he put as much money as possible into things like blue chip stocks. So what is blue chip stocks? Well, this could be companies like Johnson & Johnson, Coca Cola and Apple, for example. It is basically very big companies that has been around forever. Ronald Read died back in 2014 with a total net worth of $8 million. And nobody actually knew that he had this kind of money, because he basically lived a very simple life and didn't spend a large proportion of his income. This video here can potentially change your life, but also your family's life. I will be talking about how you as a normal working person can make a fortune, and that is without taking on massive amount of risk. And I will be teaching you the most simple and the most reliable way of doing this. If you actually like today's video, well then please press the like button below the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one in the future. With that being said, well then let's start talking about what you can do to get rich. Before I jump into this, well then I must warn you, because there is no thing called getting rich quick. It takes time, and understanding this is super important. The number one thing when it comes to getting rich is changing your habits. When looking at non-wealthy people, well then it is very common to see them using their extra bit of money to buy liabilities. You can think of liabilities as things like a new pair of shoes, new clothes, a new car and so on. Liabilities are basically things that people buy that always decrease in value. A lot of people are actually buying all of these liabilities to make them appear more wealthy than they actually are. They're trying to get the newest clothes and so on. However, doing this has a very serious impact on your financials, especially over the long term. What you need to do is to stop caring about what other people think of you. You need to stop buying all of these liabilities, and instead you need to buy assets. And with the money you get from your assets, well then you can buy liabilities, not the other way around. So what is an asset? Well, assets can be things like stocks, rental properties, buying a business, watches, paintings. It can basically be anything that has the potential to make you money and put more money into your pocket. And liabilities are things that are taking money out of your pocket. That is the most simple way to think of assets and liabilities. So the first thing you need to do is to focus more on your assets and less on your liabilities. This is extremely important when it comes to getting wealthy, and it increases your chances significantly of getting there. The easiest way to get started by getting more assets is to look at the stock market. Buying things like rental properties, paintings, watches and so on often requires a lot of money up front. However, investing into the stock market doesn't require a lot of money, but it still has the potential to make you a lot of money. A study have actually found that 8 out of 10 millionaires made their first million by investing their money into the stock market. This is simply the easiest and the best way to get rich. The number two thing when it comes to getting more wealthy is to focus on the income side. It is really important to focus more on the income side than it is to finding ways to reduce your cost. And the reason is that if you are on low salary, well then it might be hard for you to find ways to reduce your cost enough, and therefore focusing on the income side is much more important. Understanding the income side is crucial for success, and the reason is because your income minus your cost equals what you have left. And by increasing the income part of this equation, well then you will become significantly more wealthy over time. So focusing more on the income side will allow you to reach your goals much faster. And as I said before, well then there is only a certain amount that you can reduce your cost by. However, when it comes to your income, you can basically increase this to an unlimited amount, and that can be done through businesses, side hustles, work, your new assets and so on. So focusing on this can absolutely change your life. And if you don't have a high salary, well then start here first. Times are tough and living is expensive. So having an adequate amount of income through your job is extremely important right now. When it comes to increasing your income, well then it might be really hard to finding places where you can increase your income. But as I said before, then the place where I would start is by my salary. And here's how I would do it. The first way is to negotiate your salary. If you're getting paid $10 an hour, well then it might be time to ask your superior about a raise, or simply ask them, hey, what can I do to increase my salary in this company? And if they are unwilling to either give you a raise or finding ways that you can increase your income, well then it might be time for you to start looking for a new job. The average person does get an increase in their salary when they find a new job. Therefore, looking for a new job if you're unable to get more at your current job might be a good idea. Another thing you can do if you don't get paid enough at your job, or maybe you don't like your job, well then you could potentially start a side hustle. Right now there are so many ways of starting a side hustle, and the best place to start is by looking at the internet. If you have skills like accounting, marketing, editing, coding, and so on, well then there are so many ways to increase your income and start a side hustle. You can simply just rent your time out on websites like Fiverr and Upwork. And if you don't have these skills, well then you could potentially just start learning them. There are so many people that are doing this, and it is an extremely powerful way of increasing your monthly income. The third thing that you should focus on is always investing into the market. Wealthy people always find a way of doing this. And no, that is not only because they have a lot of money, because there was a time when they didn't have a lot of money. However, back then, the majority of them still found a way to prioritize investing into the market. So there is basically no excuse for not doing so. You should always find a way to prioritize investing into the market above anything else beside your essential needs. The reason why this is so important is because the way in which you actually grow your wealth over time is by being consistent every single month. That is exactly why I wanted you to start focusing on the income side first, because finding ways to increase your income would allow you to invest your money into the stock market every single month. One of the best ways to stay consistent when it comes to investing into the market is by automating the process. So when you're automating your money, you are basically setting up a brokerage account that is connected to your bank account so that the transfer of money happens automatically. And from your brokerage account, well then they're automatically investing into whatever you wanted to invest in. That is what I'm personally doing, and there's so many other people who's doing this. It is simply the best and easiest ways to keep investing your money every single month. The fourth thing that you should do is to spread your risk. So what does this mean? Well, it basically means that you should always diversify your investments. Don't ever invest all of your money into one stock. Doing so is extremely risky, and it never really works out anyways. What most millionaires do is that they're diversifying their investments, meaning that they're putting their money into several different companies. I personally love things like index fund, and that is a super efficient way of diversifying your investment. I am actually investing every single month into the S&P 500 index, and the S&P 500 index is basically an index that consists of the 500 largest companies within the US. So by buying this index every single month, I actually get a small fraction of all of these companies for a very, very low price. And therefore, I actually get the diversification benefits of having 500 different companies in my stock portfolio. This index has averaged a yearly return of 9% over the last 50 years. So the return here is extremely high as well. You can also combine investing into stocks with investing into things like bonds, real estate, and any other thing basically. It is always good to diversify your investment into different asset classes. And that way, if the stock market doesn't do well, well then the bond market might do really well, and you are always sure to make money. By doing these four things, I can promise you that you will change your life. You will end up having a lot more money than you do right now, but you need time to do it. But trust me, it is definitely worth it. That was all I had in today's video. Thank you for watching the video, and if you actually liked the video, then please press the like button below the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one in the future.